Hello and welcome to my review of the entire Warhammer Age of Sigmar Lumineth Realm-Lords range. This is all of the models in circulation for that army. They are absolutely beautiful models in my opinion. I was going to pass this range completely, but as luck would have it, I did declare to you all that I would cover this full army for Age of Sigmar. There have been other armies that have passed me by, such as the Gloomspite Gits and the Idoneth Deepkin and the Ossiarch Bone Reapers, which I missed out on and wasn't able to give you full unboxings and reviews. So I'm pleased that I've been able to do this, and if you would like to support the channel and allow me to continue to cover full armies, then please do consider liking the video, subscribing and using the Element Games affiliate link below, where you can save yourself up to 25% off all of your Warhammer goodness. Now this isn't a cheap army by any means. It's a beautiful looking army, but what you've got right there is 35 plastic models for £400. Let that just sink in for a moment. That's £11 per model. I know it's probably a bit unfair of looking at it in that respect, but there are some pricey models in here, and the individual box sets themselves are very pricey. In the top left right there, it all kicked off with the Lumineth Realm-Lords army box set. I think Games Workshop were hoping that it would sell more than it did. There's still plenty in stock everywhere. What they tried with this box set is something that they'd never done before. They kind of combined a start collecting set, which, let's face it, nowadays costs £60, with a unit of 10 Wardens, Light of Eltharion, and 5 Vanari Dawn Riders. Now, if that box set was £60 on its own, that would have been alright. What they included in that box set, though, was, on the right-hand side of the screen, the limited edition Battle Tome, with a soft touch cover, gold edge pages and a black ribbon page keeper, along with some of those kind of glowing dice that you can see all the way there. Lovely dice, lovely book, lovely cards. It's a lovely set, but at £110 for 16 models and the book, it seemed a bit pricey. I mean, on paper you are getting a bit of value with that set, because dice nowadays for 20 of them usually cost £20, cards again over £10, so it is still a bit of a deal. And I think we had such a huge gap between the army box set and the rest of the releases because of the virus situation and everything that's going on at the moment, which slowed the momentum for some of these releases. And then when they did get released, very expensive. I kind of expected that that would be the case. The one thing I will say is the descriptions on some of the units and models on the store say that they're kind of fully customizable. They're not. They follow the same pattern as the recent releases over the past 2 years in terms of the Adeptus Mechanicus Cerberus Raiders, in terms of all of the Sisters of Battle models, in that typically you get a unit of 10 or a unit of 5, and you'll get an option to make one of the models like a default standard model or as a leader, and then one of the other models as either a banner bearer or a standard model again. And that's for the Stone Guard at least. For the Wardens, it's a little bit different. You don't get a banner bearer, but you've got a choice of either having the Seneschal as normal or just as a normal Warden. And it's a similar case for the Sentinels. You can have the Sentinels as a normal Sentinel or as a Seneschal. The Dawn Riders follow the same suit as the Stone Guard, but what's lacking in this whole range is any posability. You can't put any of these models in a particular pose without heavily kit bashing the model. Now that's good in some respects because the models do look fantastic, but if you do choose to duplicate any of these, they're going to look very similar unless you swap out the weapons, and the only unit you can do that with successfully is the Alarith Stone Guard. Now let's couple that with their high prices. So a box of 10 Oralan Sentinels will set you back £36.50, which is a huge amount of money considering they're not posable whatsoever. You don't get any different weapon options, and all of the poses are pretty much the same. And that's the same story for the Wardens. Again, they share that £36.50 price point. Another unit that shares the price point is the Stone Guard, but this time instead of 10 models you're only getting 5 for the same price, and they're all on the same size bases, these 32mm size bases, but at least you can change the tip of their weapons from stone hammers to diamond pick hammers. The Dawn Riders are a similar story as well, but they will set you back even more. £39.50 for 5 riders. That's a huge amount of money. Let's face it, we're talking £40 for a box of 5 cavalry. It will be interesting if and when Games Workshop release a start collecting box set, but my money's on a box set which will have the Wardens, Light of Eltharion and the Dawn Riders. But even then, that's quite a huge chunk of saving off of the models individually. We're talking of a £42 saving if they choose to do that and they choose to sell it for £60. Another thing that caught me by surprise was the cost of the individual characters. The Stone Mage is a decent looking model, but it's almost £30. Sure, the rules are excellent and it complements both Alarith and the Stone Guard, but that's a lot of money for a wizard. Next up, the Cathalar at £18.50, when a few years ago similar models were £15 or £16.50. That's had a bit of a price increase. And then finally, the most expensive models of all, the Alarith Spirit of the Mountain at the back there at £68. Let's face it, it's £70. And then Archmage Teclis and Selenar being a whopping £105, the most expensive model Games Workshop sell. It's the same price in 40k terms as the Knight Castellan, and it's £5 more expensive than the Chaos model Archaon for the Everchosen, which in my opinion is a better model. Now, the differences between Teclis and Archaon is pretty much the scenic base. Archaon is a much bigger model and has less of a scenic base, but Teclis has a huge scenic base, and I think that's where a lot of the design and the money went in making that model. Also, I share the same view as many of you in that I'm not 100% sure on Teclis's pose. Having both of the weapons outstretched like that, I would have preferred the pose similar to the artwork that you find in the Battle Tome. Speaking of which, the Battle Tome is lovely. I would have preferred more units, like some kind of golem or specialised blade unit to go with Eltharion. Maybe even have the cavalry with the bows as well, or cavalry with hammers, or have a different unit of wardens with hammers and shields. There's a lot of scope and creativity yet to be tapped into for this army range, and I do look forward to what Games Workshop have up their sleeve if and when they choose to expand the army. The dice are another talking point. I very much like the drum dice. I didn't think that they would work, but they do. And I also really enjoy the glowing yellow dice that they brought out. In summary, I like the look and feel of the entire force on the whole, but unfortunately it's an expensive taste. All of these models and units are pricey. So it's really up to you whether you think they're worth the entry price alone. They're certainly some of the most detailed Age of Sigmar models Games Workshop have ever produced, and that gives me a good feeling of what's coming up in the future in terms of the new Giants releases. Rules wise, they've got pretty decent rules. They've got these sun metal weapons, they're very magic focused, but of course like any new fledgling army, they are lacking in a number of areas. My favourite model out of all of these Lumineth Realm-Lords is still Light of Eltharion. It's an absolutely stunning model. I really appreciate what Games Workshop have done in having this basically a set of armour without anything in it. I think they've done an amazing job there design wise. And a special mention goes out to the Stone Mage too. The way that they've managed to get the look and feel of a wizard kind of levitating off of that rock is fantastic. What do you guys think of the range and the models and the rules? Do you think this is a missed opportunity by Games Workshop, or do you think that they have done the Realm-Lords justice? And please do put in the comments below your favourite model of this entire range. I'll be really interested to read your comments. Thank you ever so much for joining me today. Thank you for watching. Teclis protects.